Hi, welcome to my Makeup Monday for Monday the 11th of August 2025. My name's Denise McCabe and I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator in Australia on the New South Wales Central Coast, so welcome. Today I've pre-recorded my Makeup Monday because I have a lunch date and I didn't think I'd be back in time to go live, so I thought, you know what, let's pre-record, so that's what I've done. So today I'm going to play with some product, couple of things. One thing I know is on the last chance product list. The others are still available, still current. Doesn't look like they're disappearing, so that's good. And we're going to do a fun fold card. So I was tidying, that's a lie. I was not tidying my room yesterday. I was going through things and trying to find things, and I stumbled across a couple of fun fold cards I'd made a while ago, and I thought, oh, I could revisit this one, so that's what I'm doing. So I did not tidy my room. I was looking for things, and one day I'll tidy my room, but it's not going to be today or tomorrow. So let's go down to the craft desk and we can get started. Okay, you might remember this little hedgehog. I think it was called Happy Hedgehog. I think that's what it was called. Now, I obviously made this for a class because I've got 3 of them. And I don't know why I'd have 3 of them for any other reason. So this is called a Twisted Easel card. So this one is a 5.5-inch square. And it stands up like so. So it looks like that when it's standing up. So it's just a 5.5-inch square card scored diagonally on the front panel and then twisted, and then you put a feature here and something here to pop it up when it stands up for display. So I have 3 of them. So I must have had a couple of samples for class and made one as we were going along in class, because I have no idea why I have 3 of them, but I thought I could revisit this card. Now I am going to scale it down to just a 5-inch square because I do think this is a bit big and clumsy. I put a panel on the back of this one to write on. I'm not going to do that this time around, but yeah, these must have scallop circles. I think they were a die set that I have on sold, but they were really nice. But yeah, I just think a 5.5-inch square is a little bit clumsy and big. Now, if you're looking for envelopes to fit these, I just Google square envelopes, and I can't remember where I got them from because I don't use a lot of them, so I don't go through them quickly. But I just Googled it, and I've bought 6-inch envelopes. I think I've bought 5.5-inch, and I think I've bought, excuse me, 5-inch envelopes. Let me have a sip of water. Sorry about that, just got a tickle. Yeah, but as I said, I don't remember where I got them from because I don't go through them very quickly. Because I don't make a lot of square cards, but it's nice just to have some in your stash. But yeah, so this is a Twisted Easel card. So that's what we're going to recreate today. Now, before we do that, what have I got to tell you? I've got to think. Don't forget about the in-colour sale that's going on at the moment, the 2025-2027 in-colours. Anything with those in-colours in it is 15% off. So it's not just the ink pads and the re-inkers and the blends and the DSP and the cardstock. It's anything with any of those 2025-27 in-colours in it. It's 15% off. For example, the beautiful Gallery Designer Series paper that has cloud cover in it, so it's 15% off. The Kintsugi Inspirations paper that has Secret C in it, 15% off. I think the Celebratory Sips Designer Series paper that's got Strawberry Slush in it, 15% off. And the Strawberry Slush and Pretty in Pink gems, they would be 15% off too. So it's ribbons, anything with those in colours, 15% off, and that runs till the 31st of August. So don't forget that. Now I'm just going to do a little plug for my next online card class, which is the 23rd of August. It's using the Extraordinary Flora washi tape. This is also in that sale. It's got some of the in colours in it, and it's 15% off. And it's actually in stock at the moment, believe it or not. So if you want this washi tape, you'll get it cheaper, and it's in stock. So my online card class are these 5 cards using the Extraordinary Flora washi tape. You get all the supplies plus the envelopes to make these 5 cards. I need to know by Saturday next week, Saturday the 16th, I think it is. Let me look. Yes, I think it's the 16th. So I can mail them out to you and get them to you in time for Saturday the 23rd, the online class. Now this class is $35. It includes postage to you and everything supplied. So if you'd like to register for that class, just let me know, and I can add you to my list and cut up a card pack for you. I'll be doing that this week, cutting and prepping pretty much for that class. Now, the next one after that is an in-person class on Saturday the 30th of August, and it's the Kintsugi Inspirations class. I think I said that wrong. Kintsugi Inspirations class. 4 cards, $25. You get all the supplies to make these 4 cards. This class will be free if you place a $50 order on the day. So yeah, let me know if you'd like to come to that class. That one is an in-person class in my house at East Gosford. So there are my next few classes, couple of classes coming up. I'm in the throes of working out, oh, that elastic band just broke. Let me find another one. I'm in the throes of working out what my next classes after that will be. It's always a challenge to keep working on new ideas for classes. Coming up with classes. I did have a sunflower class for this month, but nobody booked in. I think people were busy on the day I selected, so I will probably run that class again, because people showed a lot of interest in the sunflower embossing folder when I showed it to them. So I'll probably run that class again, just on another date. Okay, let's have a look at what we're going to use today. Spotlight on Nature stamp set is on the last chance product list, and it is down to $20.50. The dies are not on the last chance product list. So if you're wanting this, do not buy it as a bundle because you'll pay too much. The bundle's $91.75. And if you haven't already got the dies and the stamp set, you're better off at the moment buying the dies separately at $61 and the stamp set at $20.50, total of $81.50. So it's cheaper to buy them separately, 2 item numbers at the moment. I'm really glad these dies aren't on the last chance list because I really like them. I'm sad about the stamp set, but you know, I can always hang on to that one. So it is pretty cheap. So the stamp set is normally $41, so it's pretty much half price. Well, it is half price, 50% off. So we're using that. We're using the Spotlight on Nature circle dies, and I've got the Stylish Shape dies. They're still hanging around, thank goodness for that. I've got them out just in case I need to use them, and we're using the Perennial Lavender Designer Series paper. Now that has been around for a while, and it carried over, and it's actually in the annual catalogue. So we've got that for another, what, 6 or so plus months, I think. Yeah, well, till May next year, really. So it's beautiful purples and stuff like that. So that's the paper we're using. I've pulled in my Simply Said stamp set in case I want a sentiment from here. I'm not sure what sentiment I'm wanting, but I've got that handy. So let's put that aside, and I'll bring in my bits and pieces. Okay, let's put this little happy hedgehog here because it'll cover up my glary bit. Not that we're copying him exactly. So I've got various dies already cut, a couple of Spotlight on Nature dies, and I've got different sizes because I was going to go with the stitched stylish shapes. And I'll show you what I might be using one of those for. And we've got our card. So I've scaled this down. Instead of 5.5, let me look. Yep, it is definitely 5.5 by 5.5. I've scaled it down to 5 inches by 5 inches. Just a little bit smaller. And I just think it makes it's a little bit neater card. Okay, so this is 5 inches by 10 inches. I'm doing it in inches today because I find square cards much easier in inches. So 5 inches by 10 inches, scored at 5 inches, and then scored diagonally from the right top point of your front panel down to the score line, like so. From the right top down to your score line on your front panel. Then we have our matting pieces. We've got 2 matting pieces that are 4 3/4 by 4 3/4, and I've got Highland Heather here, and I have cut one diagonally in half. Okay, but you need 2 4 3/4 by 4 3/4. And then we've got a designer series paper, and you need 2 pieces of designer series paper, 4.5 inches by 4.5, and I've cut one of them diagonally in half. Okay, so that's what you need for this card. And then just a couple of dies of your choice. I've done the scallop circles here, just a couple of dies of your choice if you're wanting to decorate it. So alright, so let's put our card base. What are we doing? So, okay, let's see. So I have scored it in half at 5 inches. Let me just get my score line a bit better. And of course it's started raining again. It's been such a silly weekend, raining on and off. But I was going to say we need rain, but I don't think we do now. I think we've had enough. And then this one is scored, as I said, top right down to the score line, and you just fold that in half. So it's actually half of the front panel, and score it over. And that's going to give you your diamond, like diagonal easel. Okay, so that's that. Now we've got, let's do our front matting. I think we'll do that first. So this is one of our 4 3/4 panels, 4 3/4 squares, cut in half diagonally. And shall I put those on, or shall I put my designer series paper? Let me put my designer series paper on first, I think. And then I've got my matting designer series paper, and that's a 4.5 inch square cut diagonally in half. Okay, so I think I'll put that on first and then attach it to my card. Move all these ones over here. Let's do that. I've got my little silicone mat, and I'm just gonna clear the glue off my end of my glue pot. Now I chose this paper because I haven't used it for ages, and there's a little butterfly. There's some butterflies on it, and there's a nice butterfly in this stamp set. And I just remembered I did not get my blends out, but they're right beside me, so they're not far away. It won't take me long to grab them. So I'm just putting some adhesive onto the back of that piece of paper and matting it onto my Highland Heather. Okay, there we go. And just get a little border all the way around. Now when you work in inches, your matting pieces drop down by 1/4 of an inch. When you're working in centimetres, they drop down by 1/2 centimetre. So, and this one. So my card base is crumb cake, because that's a nice neutral colour. And it's not actually, it doesn't actually say crumb cake is one of the colours in the paper, but it obviously is, because here we are. I'm going to get my pokey tool, my old pokey tool. and bring in my other piece of Highland Heather. So I did go with Crumb Cake as my card base. There we go. Nice. So that's matted onto our Highland Heather. And then we're going to just mat them straight onto our card base with, once again, a little 1/4 of an inch. Well, it ends up being like 1/8 of an inch all the way around, 1/4 in total. There we go. So let's do that. So if you're using tape, sometimes it's hard to get up into the points of triangles, and that's where I find glue is good, but then I always suffer from glue spurtage. So whatever floats your boat, use whatever adhesive that you prefer. So I'm just matting that onto my card front, with leaving a little border all the way around, and there's the score line there, as you can see. And this one, so this is quite an easy fun fold. It comes together quite easily. And it has a little bit of a wow factor. It has a little pop when people open it up. So yeah, it's always nice, I think, if you're a card maker, to give the recipient a bit of a wow. So that's what it's going to look. So I've got flowers going this way, I've got a little butterfly up here, and then we've got, it's going to sit up like that. Okay, so let's do our inside matting. This is the other 4 3/4 by 4 3/4 square, and this is the other 4 1/2 by 4 1/2 square. These two aren't cut diagonally because they're going to be our inserts. So, and I am going to use, that's part of this, whoops, part of this paper, but I am actually going to turn it over and use it on this, the grid side, because I think that's sort of a good insert, and it sort of means you don't actually have to put in a panel to write on, because I think you could easily write on this grid side. I think that would be easy. So just like so. And so yeah, my friend that meeting up with tomorrow or Monday, today, we were meant to meet up the other week, but then I was called into work, so we had to postpone. But she's retired now, and with me working part-time, do you think that we can find a day to catch up? It's just insane. It's just like crazy. So I thought, yeah, I'm not going to risk running, trying to get back from that lunch. I think we're going to be talking forever and ever. Okay, so that is our card base pretty much decorated. Okay, so it's going to sit up like this. So this one's going to go here, and that up on dimensionals, and that's up too far, I think. I'm going to put it down here in the corner, and that will hold up our easel. Okay, this one I thought I'd put here, and we'll only attach it on this panel, but I don't want to cover up that butterfly. Okay, and if I stamp on it, we're going to have the problem of the blends bleeding through. So that's why I've cut a couple of these circles out, because I might need to mat them on the back to stop the bleeding if I stamp. But then I don't like that because it's covering up the little filigree. So if I go down to this one, I'm not sure if that's going to work either. It might. And that will cover up the bleeding of the blends. Or I could, and I'm not live so I can't ask you, I could stamp and fussy cut and attach. That's what I'm thinking of doing, you know. Let's put that there. Let's put these circles. I will use those circles somewhere else. Let's get this colour, black memento, in, and we need a couple of blocks. So I'll get that one, and I think I'll need this one. Okay. So let's stamp our butterfly from our beautiful Spotlight on Nature stamp set. Love this stamp set. This block has gotten all dirty and gummy and gross, so I'll have to fix that up. I think I'll hang on to this one. I quite like it. But, you know, we get inundated with so many new things that I forget to use it. Okay, so I'm just going to stamp my little butterfly. That's nice. Let's get my chamois. And we will colour him in. Okay, so that's that. Now this is what I'm not sure about. Whether I should stamp directly. So we'll put that over there and we'll get this block. This is what I'm not sure about. If I stamp directly, I'm going to get, but I think I want to. But I'm going to get the bleeding coming through on the back when I colour it. Or should I stamp it and fussy cut it? And I could just, let's have a little look. I know it's longer. I will be cutting it off. So let's just stamp it like so. I think I'll fussy cut it so that I do not have to worry about the bleeding coming through. That's the only problem with the colouring and when you're mounting something without a backing to it. That's the only problem. Okay, so let's grab my blends. Right here. Another thing I did yesterday, I was going through all my blends. These are all my half dead ones, all retired in colours. Look at them all. That's insane, isn't it? So you know when the brush tip dies, but this end, the finer end's okay. That's what happens. That's what happens. So, I really don't want to buy any more blends ever because I have so many. Okay, but this is how I store my good ones. Like so. Okay, let's do the butterfly first. And we've got Fresh Freesia, that's Highland Heather. I think I want to do the butterfly in Fresh Freesia. Is that Fresh Freesia? That's Fresh Freesia. Okay, and here's a little scrap. I always like a little scrap. Okay, so I might do this part of the wings in the dark Fresh Freesia. So just bear with me while I colour in. And we've also got Winker Stella. That's always a good thing to have, especially on flowers and butterflies. Now don't tell me this paint tip has gone woofy. Is that even a word? They certainly are a consumable, the blends, as you can see from my graveyard box. That's what I'll call it, my graveyard box. Okay, I'm just going to go back over here. Now this one doesn't matter if the blends bleed through because it's going to go flat down, like popped up on dimensionals, but flat down. So it doesn't really matter. Okay, so then this one is the light Fresh Freesia. So I'm not really going to town on the colours or blending. I'm just doing it like tone on tone to match the paper. There we go. So that one is going to go in here like so. Oh, I hope I've got some purple bling. I'm sure I will have. Okay, so now this one, I think I will go with Highland Heather, because it's a little bit darker. Highland Heather. Oh, see, that one's not good either. Yes, it will be. We'll make it work. I don't tend to, my blends don't get used that much for classes now, because a lot of my customers have bought their own, which is good, because then mine are sort of lasting a little bit longer, thank goodness. Okay, this one is the light Highland Heather. So I am just going to come back down like so. And then just blend that dark up. You really do need the paintbrush end for some things. There we go. Now, I believe the colour in the green in the paper is Shaded Spruce, so that's probably the green I'm going to go with. And I'm going to go to my other end. I feel like I've got a bit more control because the paintbrush end is sort of splaying out, and that's when I go out of the lines then. So there we go. There we go. So I'm just sort of shading that dark up. Okay, and I'll double check. Yeah, shaded spruce and pretty peacock. I don't think we have a pretty oh, we do have a pretty peacock blend. Oh, that, look at that nib. That's just clumpy, clumpy, clumpy. Okay, I'm going with Pretty Peacock for my leaves. And I'm just, this is the dark. So you just can't keep replacing them. Well, I suppose you can, but... Okay, so I'm just going to do all of it, but I probably will cut a little bit off. And I found this floral image in this stamp set was quite easy to colour. Wasn't too challenging. This is light Pretty Peacock. That looks alright. So use your paintbrush end very gently when you're using it, and you'll get a little bit longer out of it. I've got to fussy cut this too, goodness. I didn't think that through, did I? Okay, let's just... finish off our leaves. I'm not even going to try and do the stalk because I feel that could be fraught with danger. And I don't want to. Okay, let's pop these ones back in. So yes, when I found all my dead, well, they're not dead, they're half dead, half dead blends and all different retired in colours, and I thought, I don't need to buy another set of blends ever. Okay, let's just cut that off. And if you can bear with me while I try and fussy cut this out. I am going to clean my scissors. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to get my other ones that are not as gunky. They're my sort of like everyday. Okay, so I'm just going to fussy cut this out. So bear with me while I do that. So there's no dies for the images in the Spotlight on Nature stamp set. The dies that go with the stamp set are the circles, and they're hanging around. Thank goodness. So I'll just cut. I won't get into all the nooks and crannies to start with. I might go back and do that. But this style of card is something you could do for... That was my printer turning off. You could do with any paper, any stamp set. Like the Christmas Jar of Joy one, that would look good on this style of card. The bauble blooms would look good. Now I'm just going to go straight here, and I'll come back, and if I want to make it a little bit more intricate, I can come back and try and fix that up. As I said, I'll come back and try and fix that up. Some people that fussy cut get into all the little intricate bits. I'm not that good at fussy cutting. And I'm not good at fussy cutting under pressure. And I feel like I'm under pressure. There we go. See, even I go quiet when I'm fussy cutting because I'm concentrating. So I made a whole lot of cards on the weekend for my son for his gym in the Hunter Valley. No, not the Hunter Valley, sorry. In Newcastle. It's called the Hunter Health Project. That's probably why I said the Hunter Valley. Yeah, he's had that gym for 6 or 7 years now. And he's got various trainers that work there, as well as himself. And he's also a fully qualified carpenter now, so he's got his own business with that. So he's got 2 businesses. So he's a busy boy. Okay, now let me think. If I place that halfway and it pops up. Actually, I don't really probably need to cut it off. I could put it... Okay, I do want to do a bit more trimming. I don't like that. So I think if you get the bulk of it off, and then you can go back and do a bit extra if you want to, is always good. Yes, so I made a whole lot of... Well, I had a whole lot already made. I mean, you know, who doesn't have a whole lot of cards already in their craft room, all made up? Me. I have so many. I'm bursting at the seams. I'm going to have to, even though I supplied the little shop up the road, I'm going to have to do a run to the nursing homes, I think, again. I think that looks all right. I don't... See, then I think, maybe I do. I was going to say, because we're doing it onto white on white, it doesn't sort of really show that I haven't got into all the little nooks and crannies. Yeah, every now and then I put a whole lot of cards together and I drop them to the nursing home my dear mum was in. And then there's another one I take them to as well. It's the same sort of company. I think, see, do you see what I'm saying? Because there's white and we're going on to white, you can't really tell that I haven't fussy cut everywhere. And I was going to cut off here, but I don't think we need to, because if we put that across there and I put that here, let me just, it's a bit hard to try and hold it and do it. It's all right that it's got, okay, let's just think about this. I'm going to put this up on dimensionals. So let me grab my dimensionals. Do I need to get small ones? Probably do, or maybe not. No, I don't think so. Although there probably needs to be some down there. Where's my little pokey tool? My little tiny is that going to be too much? Is that, you know what? I think I'm going to use this little piece here. Is that going to show? I don't want it to show. Oh, a little bit. Just grab my scissors. Okay. Alright, let's put that onto our circle. Oopsie. Actually, I do want one of these. I'm going to put that here. Okay, I'm going to put that onto our circle, like so. And then, I don't want to cover that butterfly up, so I think that looks all right. Okay, so I'm going to put dimensionals across here. I'm going to put two here. There we go. Now let me get my pokey tool. And I think I've gone over my half an hour. Ah, what's wrong with me? I used to be able to keep to half an hour perfectly. Now I can't. Okay. This is how I'm doing it. And I'm not going to press down too much, just in case I don't like what I've done. I think I like what I've done. Can you see what I've done? I think I'd actually prefer it. What have I done? I think I'd actually like it a little bit higher. But if you don't press down too hard, you've got the chance of doing that. I think I'd like it up a little bit higher, but not covering my butterfly. Look, didn't cover my butterfly. Okay, let me look. Yeah, I like that. Now we're going to grab our butterfly and put that up on dimensionals. One, two, oh look at this, three, look at that. Okay, and I'm just going to put him bordering, touching the border of our matting pieces. There we go. So he's not sort of hanging out of the card when the card's flat. And when you put him up, you can see. Okay, let's get our Winter Stella. I think this one's still got some life in it. Okay, I'm just going to put some Winkestella on the flower. And I was going to put some purple gems. But I wonder if I should put the brushed brass butterflies. It's so nearly dead. I really think it's steady bones now. There we go. My little butterfly and flowers have got a little bit of sparkle. Now let's go to our bling tin. Doo-doo. Thought I had some purpley ones. Ooh, that would be nice. I'm getting too much bling. Okay, let's go back. There's the greys. And that's purple fine shimmer gems. That's the ones. I wonder if they're going. I will have to look. Okay, let's pop those ones in their little packets. So these are Berry Burst, these are Highland Heather, and these are, no, these are Gorgeous Grape, and these are Highland Heather. Let's do these ones down here. I'm going to put 2 here. Oh no, will I put 1 there? I'll put 1 here. And 1 up here. I'm going to put 3 on the front, because when you're looking at the front, you can't tell that there's one inside. And now I know there's no sentiment on this. You could put a little sentiment along here if you wanted to, or you could stamp one inside. I think I'm going to stamp something inside, and I think it's going to be the happy birthday up there. Happy birthday. Is that going to work on my block? It is. And I'm going to, I don't want to do it in Black Memento. I shall do it in Highland Heather, I think. Let me just grab my scrap and make sure that that's going to work. If it's going to be dark enough. Otherwise, I'll go to Gorgeous Grape. Oh yeah, that's dark enough. Okay. Now, a card's going to sit like this, and I think happy birthday across the top here will be nice. You won't see it when it's closed. And I don't think I need to put it on a banner. I think it looks fine like that. Okay, I think we're done. I think we're done. Okay, so this is our Twisted Easel card. Using Spotlight on Nature. The stamp set is on the last chance product list, and it's 50% off. The dies are not. They are hanging around. Let me just make sure I didn't get my dimensionals hanging over. No. The Perennial Lavender Designer Series paper is still available. It's in the annual catalogue. Yeah, and that's Simply Said. And the, what's this thing called? Winkestella. That's still available. So that's just a bit of a wow factor. And that's how it stands. That's how it, let me see if I can show you. That's how it would sit and display. Like so. Folds flat to post. You just need to get an envelope that's 5.5 inches or a 6-inch envelope. But yeah, I just think it's a little bit tidier than the 5.5-inch square. Just a little bit neater. So I really hope you enjoyed that today. Have a great start to your week. Let me come back to me if I can. There we go, I think. Yep. Have a great start to your week. Thank you so much for watching. And I will be with you. There we go. That's the Twisted Easel card. I will be with you on Wednesday at 2 o'clock, and I will be live unless something happens. But I plan to be live on Wednesday for Card and a Cuppa. So have a great start to your week, and thank you for watching. Bye for now.